Anyways, we're fucking good to go. Yeah. I guess we should start with wait.
This is actually really fun, man.
Are we making like an awkward introducement with like, hey, I'm Ferdikis, I'm the CEO of
Oh yeah,
Infestation
totally.
UZ, and I'm not sure though. Or if we just start with, hey, what you guys
You can
actually
see the
working
porn
on
from
the
the mirror.
most,
Yeah, I
and
know.
what you did the last weeks actually, what people, because I, for example, know that you guys are working a lot on some things, even some like a lot of things that make it easier, like an easier job for the mods and everyone, which nobody really sees when they thinking like all the time you just wanking hardcore. So yeah, maybe start with that. Just explain what you worked the last weeks on the most, and what will come soon.
You want me to talk or you want Fred to talk?
I mean, you can both talk. I mean,
Fred starting. Yeah.
maybe start with Fred Ikes.
Yeah. So that was a awkward silence right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can just go and tell like, what did you guys actually work the most
I
on the
can I
last
can sum
weeks?
up the past 2 weeks or the some of the past three
Yeah.
weeks. Um, what we're actually working on and what's actually been happening, because it's important to know what that there's two parts, which we also have tried to make clear recently. And basically, what's been happening a lot is we have been having a lot of issues, and there's been like a gap between developing the game and fixing issues. And for us, it's been really demotivating. First of all, to always have these issues every day you wake up. There's new problems again. Either it's DDoS attack, either it's problems with the game. There's crashes. There's a major bug. There's something fucked up in the patch, and it kept just going like that. So that's been one of the biggest things we've been.
Yeah,
uh,
I would say past months, if not.
exactly. So
We've been, and a lot of things that we do also are things that you guys don't see now. Directly, like, since there's all these duping and things,
yeah,
the
basically
DDoS.
there's a lot of situations that we actually fix, but we don't really bring out to the public. And yes, they take a lot of time. Um, and then people could be like, yeah, what actually happened. But they are actually really beneficial for the game to happen. I mean, they are they are critics. They're very important that we fix them. But yeah, that's been one part of the things. And next to that, we've been combining it with developing the game, and it's really good that since the last 2 weeks we actually started to find more time again in developing the game. We've seen these devlogs, and we've been really really hyped to make survival and to make competitive. And as you guys already saw in the past devlog, we really want to go and continue and finish those two things up, at least while still working on the game, while still fixing crashes, while still making things that are required that people want. Like for example, the idea we have now with seasonal leaderboards, solo servers. And yeah, that's basically what's been going on.
Okay. A lot of people actually, like, when I've seen, were like, of course, like hyped about the survival thing and also about the competitive. Do you guys have like any like do you know already when it's realistic to be like live or
Yeah.
coming, or like how's your progress there?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it really depends. We could release already basically half-assed survival mode, but we want to first make sure it's on a playable, fun to play state before we would even start to release something like this. Of course, it will be something constant in development, a bit like Battle Royale when you first released. There wasn't a lot of features, and then slowly we started, making it better and better.
yeah.
So yeah,
Basically, we don't know when survival is going to be in a playable state where we can say, okay, this is the thing we want to bring out to the players. Because obviously we have to be satisfied and happy with the result. But we are 100% sure that it's going to come at some point, and that we're really hyped to work on it, and we're working on it every single day, and we can't wait. But the ETA on it is, I don't know. We will keep doing these devlogs, so it's more like a dynamic thing. We don't know exactly when. We don't have a set time or
I mean,
a set.
we do have a list, as you can see. I'm not gonna spoil everything, but there's a as you can, there's a huge list of things we have to take care of. Yeah, and as well as also like a survival mode, you also have to think, okay, how will that affect server performance? Will we need to expand for that? Will we? There's a lot of questions that also don't have to do anything with the development itself that have to be answered. Will our database be able to cope with all these new data getting saved? All these small things and small details, and then yeah, are we gonna make it so you get to you get to create the sixth character for survival? Are we gonna make it so it's your account name that becomes your character? You know, it's all these small things that we still haven't figured out. But it's, as I said, we go step by step, and as we do them, you know, we get closer to our goal.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it's also better to like maybe release something a little bit later instead of releasing it too early when it's like not really tested.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because
There's no point in releasing
that
something
makes
half-assed.
people even more angry than just, you know, having something maybe earlier but shit. But it's good to maybe wait longer with like survival mode or also like competitive until it's really like tested and you know, okay, this is now a state of the game where we can say, okay, people won't cry even though they will. But
yeah, what you're saying, like people won't cry. The most important, and which is also something people have to see, is that while we're working on this, there's still a very important part of developing the other part of the game, which is making sure these new patches come. And that's why we cannot really say, yeah, we're gonna finish survival then, because we don't know what kind of things we're gonna have to work on in the meanwhile to maintain the normal patches for the game while survival is coming along. In a way, it's two different things, and people should know that we keep those two things divided, and we balance them out, so we don't have a priority over survival. It's not like we're working 24/7 on survival and not working on fixing the rest of the game in a way. And that's a very big factor, that why we don't know yet when exactly it's gonna come. But we're aiming for, let's say, a month. We also want to do a beta testing, maybe with some streamers, things like that. But let's say maybe a month, we will probably have a really good things ready.
So the first thing that's gonna be released soon is gonna be survival before competitive, right?
Yes, and there's actually a really big explanation behind that. Survival has been most of our community has always been focused on PvP, and I completely understand that. You guys like the PvP, I know. It's always been like that. But right now, we've got if we want to make sure the game keeps growing, we got to open to a bigger audience, of course, right? We will also, of course, want to keep our current players happy. That's not the case. But since the game is already PvP, or most of it is already PvP in a way, we decided survival will be a bigger as a contrast. And yeah, competitive won't be like just Colorado PvP. It will be in actual words, it will be matchmaking, 5v5, or well, we still haven't decided that. We've got some key points written down and stuff, but
yeah, like in my opinion, for example, it's also pretty hard to make a competitive in this game, or how you want to do it. You know, like.
Well, we had a simple idea in mind. We don't want to make a simple 5v5 matchmaking. Whoever wins, you know, whoever kills everyone wins, because that would be too much CS:GO.
Yeah, and also I think it's hard to make, and like kind of, I mean, if we like see like, for example, the old tournaments and old ISS or whatever, it's yeah, with third person, whatever, with all the camping aspects, like just killing the other team is, I don't know, quite. Yeah, it's difficult to make. I think a good competitive mode for this game, though. But
yeah, and I mean,
like some
at the end of the day,
capture the flag
game,
something like that. You know, that would, I guess, help or like make it more interesting, or at least some team got a point. But like, there's a lot of
at the end of the day, it's still a zombie game. So a competitive mode will involve zombies, even though if it's not that much. And what I'm talking about is the zombies will probably just be wandering around, and they will be there more for something else.
Yeah, but the thing, making competitive itself, the actual basic of the game mode, is not going to be the real issue. The biggest point of, like you're saying, Urkel, like you already said, is
how
making sure it's balanced out and it's not that's also a big part in the actual maps we're going to use, but also finding these things that make our competitive also unique to other compared to other games. So we have to find the right balance between
I mean,
that.
to be honest, for that thing, maybe make. I mean, we should maybe make these talks more often, and then maybe get Ibiza in as well,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
maybe Survivor Skills or Apollo or whatever.
Nah,
I mean,
no peasants.
no, because like to go like more into the whole how makes competitive sense or how should it be,
Yeah.
since they're actually
Yeah.
having, I think, a lot of opinions on that. Yeah.
But that's competitive and survival, I think, summed up.
Yeah.
We'll try to do our best again. I'm really hyped to start doing these dev vlogs, and I'm actually thinking about start streaming myself as well, just to give people a better idea of when what is coming and how far the progress is. So streams like this on top of that are definitely going to make things better and easier for all the players to know what's going on, and I think that's a really good step in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think like survival mode is some good thing. Also, yeah, for me, for example, that would help that because like when I'm playing right now, I really do enjoy Battle Royale. I'm kind of it's. I mean, of course, you're gonna work there on like some crashing issues or whatever FPS issues, I guess. But yeah, the normal game for me is also like over a long time it's getting quite boring. So like a survival mode, in my opinion, I think is a really good idea and will help a lot and also bring players back and also some motivation again to play. What a lot of people.
The thing we will always try to do, it's maybe a bit more towards the Battle Royale, is obviously crashes are a big problem and they're really annoying, and they're really, really, really annoying because especially when you're a player, it's the worst thing, and we know that. But what you're saying, like Battle Royale, for example, things that make we've kind of realized what are those things that what does actually make it boring, but we also know that there's actually really easy things to do to make that less boring, which is, for example, releasing a new map maybe in a little bit new way, and things like that. So like I said, like you guys probably already know, is we're already working on the second Battle Royale map that will actually work in a different way. It will be the same idea, same Battle Royale, but it will be
Couple different things.
a new things, like changes, and people want to see that. And yeah, that's what we're gonna try to bring out,
Yeah. Let me check something real quick. We can go through some questions. Actually, Steri asked me how much Redicus pay you for trash tagging a world. It was around $100K. Thank you, Fred.
10 out of 10 business, dude.
Yeah, also we got a lot of questions about like, will there be like oceanic servers or anything soon like that?
I think Fred can.
Yeah, that's a complicated one because right now we, as you all may know, we are running the game with a legal contract with OPP. Adding Oceania servers would be, we would have to ask them, as we don't have the rights to operate in such countries. But yeah, it's definitely something we're trying to look at it, and let's see if we manage to
maybe you can tell them what's been happening with the SA servers.
Yeah, recently. SA servers, we have recently been talking to a lot of ISPs. We've had
I could probably answer there. I put Chupa, which is probably our best guy since he's Brazilian, on the job. So he's currently negotiating with a lot of different companies to get the best servers possible, because there are a lot of things there that makes everything a bit harder, especially with connection speed and things such like that. So we really need to find some good servers, but it's probably on its way. So
you probably might present yourself. I don't think the community knows who you are.
Oh yeah.
Really.
I'm a bit of the guy in the background. My name is Elias, and I've been working with Fred for.
Is it Fred's son?
I've been working with Fred mostly in the administrative parts since October 2015. So you don't see me very much when it comes to the game. You can see me commenting on Facebook sometimes, but mostly I'm in the background managing stuff like yeah, for example, the servers or keeping everyone working happy.
Kind of a team leader.
And mostly the economy, of course, of the game. I'm trying to manage it. And then I have my angels, which is the whole dev team: Sven, Fred, and Chupa and Silent. And of course, my favorite streamer, Urkel.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Looks
summed up.
professional. Yeah, you see, they like you already. That's nice.
So summed up, what he kind of tried to say is, we know about the huge demand of people from Brazil, SA, South America
Yeah.
that want servers, and
Really,
we
that's a-
definitely want to try it out. So right now we're literally looking already. We've been looking the past days into hosting companies that could
Fred will
provide
give me a
us
headset so I can actually hear what you guys say.
with
you guys
with the
keep waiting for
Brazilian
a second?
servers. Can you mute yourself when you do that?
Can somebody please unban Zitos? And Zitos, can you be nice? By the way, I'm not gonna read now donations or subscribers. I'm gonna go through that later on after, but already thank you guys. Yeah, also the question was if there would be ever again or coming soon or whatever the option to actually get clan skins back.
No.
That is one. It's no. And if you want, the reasoning behind it is clan skins take up a lot of time.
Time,
And
space, and
time,
a
space,
lot of-
and
yeah.
the second issue here is, you know, if we don't always have time to work on clan skins. So if we would then work on some clan skins and then another clan comes and says, sorry, we don't have time, or we don't eventually add it, it causes drama, dilemma, and
Basically,
so we just
we
decided
cannot-
to
yeah,
stop because we
the
cannot have
the
clan skins
major-
for every clan in the game.
Yeah. Okay.
The major issue about clan skins is we would have, if we would want to add clan skins, like Fred already said, first of all, there's people that gonna have to make them, add them, they're gonna take up space. But the biggest point about clan skins is deciding which clan is going to have them and which one isn't. And there's so many clans that want them, and it would us require to set up requirements, and then we have to follow them, and then we'll basically end up with a shit ton of work just for the clan skins. And we cannot choose another clan over another clan, and that's kind of the thing we want to avoid. It's not fair for people to see that clan has clan skins and the other one hasn't. We just avoid that. That's the main reason.
But then at the same time, we can't remove the clan skins from clans that have applied. That would be unfair as well. So it's technically unfair for everybody, but we can't really continue with the clan skins as they take too much effort and cannot keep.
Yeah.
You know, cannot keep.
Also, I see someone commenting like hire more designers. It's not really about that, because making the actual clan skins, it won't take off that much time. But we also don't want to confuse our current player base with a million clan skins everywhere. It's already very hard to understand what skin is of what gun and what item, and making millions of clan skins on top of that is just gonna make everything so much more like confusing, you know. And also that we try to avoid. Plus on that, adding clan skins is just gonna increase the game size, and then on top of that, there's also going to be bugs with them. And we've already had recent bugs, and we still have bugs with the clan skins. Like for example, when you drop a helmet, it's still skinned inside in a clan skin or things like that. So a lot of points where we have decided on not to do it, basically.
By the way, Sven, your camera doesn't really.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
I have like one question. Like, to a lot of like issues that that the game have with like crashing or FPS lag or whatever, it's also most likely. I mean, the engine. You didn't make the engine, right?
No, the
you
engine
just took the game and changed and fixed what you could. So are you even like how
there's
or
always
how
been
far?
crashes with this engine.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. So we all know the game was like back in the day like the worst. But how far are you guys even like able to actually fix everything that went wrong from the beginning of the old developers?
I mean, this will sound very technical, as that's my responsibility. I spent quite a lot of time, you know, looking for these crashes. When someone, you know, we've got constant reports coming in, both from you guys that, you know, send the reports, and the things that our moderators get feedback from our community on Discord and our forums. And many of those crashes we do track them down, we do fix them, but many others we don't have enough information to do so. And other crashes are undefined, if you want to call them like that. There's not the real reasoning behind them. It's just it's called well, there's technical ways, but I'm not gonna go in too technical on this one, but it's very hard sometimes to fix some of the crashes.
Basically, what we can say, even though it might seem for players, but basically crashes is one of our top priorities, and as one we're right on top of it, but it's not always we're able to fix it, but I'm sure that we're trying our hardest. So,
and of course, the more crash dumps the more times you guys crash, even though this sounds retarded, the better, because then we get the more information, more data we get to assemble all.
I mean, it's
together
also
to be able to
important. I
fix
mean,
them.
that people also like keep in mind that to send those questions the crash reports to help the game. I mean, I know a lot of people don't even do it. So yeah.
No, there's exactly like you're saying. Obviously we have a crash dump, like a crash report system. When you crash, you can upload your crash dump. That already helps a lot. But there's a very, very small amount of people that actually, when they crash, they even upload it, or a second of that, they upload it and then don't do anything of it. But there's a very small amount of people that actually make a. Imagine you are a streamer and you have a repetitive crash, and then you're just like, you're constantly complaining, like, yeah, I'm crashing, but you're not even thinking about why am I actually crashing, you know, things like that would help us fixing them a lot. And I've actually had guys that would come up to me and tell me like, yeah, I'm crashing, and I would ask them like, yeah, why are you actually crashing? Do you have any idea? They would come up with a huge list and like, I do this and then I crash, for example. Or
also the development machines we have and use for the development of the game, they don't have all these programs installed like you guys, like these overlays, all these things. They can actually cause the game to crash, you know. I have a completely clean system where I develop and test the game. There's no overlays, there's no special programs, no game boosters, nothing like that. Okay, everything is just completely clean, just running the game. And to be honest, I hardly crash. It's mostly once a month, and then I normally fix it when I crash myself, since I've obviously got the tools to debug and find. So I don't know, and it's really the 90% of the reasons Newz crashes is because there's external programs, and so that's the reason why when we receive the crash dump, I can see that something else caused it. But since we don't have access to the guy's computer, then I can't see what caused it.
yeah, exactly.
So in the dump, I can see, okay, something touched this, which made this happen, which made that happen, which make this, and then there's a huge chain of actions that happen inside the process, and then eventually it crashes, or starts, you know, bugging out and stuff like that. So
yeah. So summed up, if you really feel like you're crashing a lot, then there has to be an external program most likely causing it. If not, if you can find a way to trigger it, you know, if you find a way, like for example, I do this and then I crash. If you can find that, the chance we actually manage to fix those kind of crashes is very high. But we have so much people complaining, but so less people actually helping us by answering things like technical questions about crashes, that we're very limited in how we can fix them. Because like you're like, yeah, you can tell us, yeah, I crashed, but what are we gonna do about it, you know?
yeah, but the best thing you guys can do if you guys crash is to if you get a repetitive crash, like it happens like every time you do something, well, then you've got the reason, then you can report it to us. But if you crash randomly, like completely randomly, many times a day, you probably want to start looking at, you know, what programs you have open, try to close everything, all this shadow play. Well, I use shadow play myself and I don't have any issues with that, but there's another one for AMD. What's it called?
I crash, for example, pretty often when I have in-game talk thingy on. If I don't have to, when I have VoIP on, I'm crashing more often.
That's exactly. See if we exactly.
Example.
So now I can write it down and I can take a look at the VoIP system. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So as soon as you crash and you actually upload your crash dump, we ask you like, yeah, what actually happened, and you tell us like, yeah, it's mostly happening when I'm having VoIP. Then there's so much extra information we already have than just a guy saying, yeah, I crashed. You know, that's a very big difference.
Yeah. I guess that answered my question pretty solid. So, 2 more Twitter questions. Are there gonna be any better rewards for Battle Royale soon?
What do you mean?
That's the question. So like, if you win, is there like any or like
Okay.
Any new rewards? you
yeah
mean?
any new rewards or
Yeah,
any
yeah,
better
that can
rewards
be-
soon?
That can be added. We could do events. We could do. Yeah, sure.
Basically,
Possible.
an indirect answer on that question is the idea of, and that's already a discussed thing, is the idea of seasonal leaderboards, which will be linked to also a reward system or things like that.
Exactly. Different seasons can have different rewards. For example,
yeah.
this season we will reward this kind of stuff, or
It
Yeah.
gives us the ability to make, for example, now I'm going to use skins, but we can also do it in different ways. Like, for example, we make seasonal leaderboards, and the summed up idea about it is we have a separate leaderboard where there's a seasonal one, and that one gets wiped every month, and basically everyone has to fight 1 month to get to rank 1 or in the top 10, and basically combined with that and Battle Royale, we can also do, or we will probably also do things like, for example, a seasonal skin box that you only get out of that season, and
Yeah.
that's also linked again to.
I mean, I
the Battle
think
Royale.
like seasonal overall is a really good idea to keep people motivated and that they have some kind of goal in the game. Because now I don't even know how much rep does, for example, Glad has minus 1.337 million no life rep, right? And nobody can basically ever touch that. I'm pretty sure.
No,
So I think seasonal leaderboards
it's
overall
seasonal-
and everything
seasonal
would
leader-
help a
exactly,
lot
because
to
then
make the
every
game
week-
interesting. Yeah.
Exactly. So basically, what you would have, is in the leaderboards you will have 2 tabs at the top. You remember how there used to be like a different tab for the hardcore leaderboard,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We could do the same for like seasonal, and then that leaderboard will get like reset every week or
week or month. We haven't decided yet. It doesn't really matter, but it's the idea.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Just
I
have a
mean,
leaderboard that where people get a chance to every season or week or month or whatever we now decide to make it. People have a different, they have a chance of starting over and stuff like that. And then we could do like seasonal prizes for the top 10 on the leaderboard, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Most
Yeah.
important also about this is we know it's very demotivating if you come into the game right now and you see all these guys in the top 100 with so many kills and so many good statistics. It's very hard to ever come in between. But we know, so that's also one of the reasons why we want to make seasonal leaderboards. But one thing you have to understand is we cannot just take that away from people. We cannot just say, yeah, we're
Yeah,
wiping
exactly.
done, you know?
That's like a big problem. Also,
Uh,
like, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to actually talk about like so many people suggesting about, hey, snipers should be rare. Hey, we need more snipers. Hey, they should be wiped. Hey, and I might be gay. So
There's a very big reasoning behind that, and there's also things that we have done in the past where we learned from, and it's a
wipe
very
is a
complicated
no-go.
situation, basically.
yeah,
But
I
if
think
you're talking
wiping
about-
wiping for example is always pretty unsmart because you fuck up a lot of people and make a lot of people angry. The whole thing with the snipers, I don't know, like if I can, like, in my opinion, it never helped the game from, like, I agree and I completely feel everyone, like the feeling back in the days when you played and you played with 5 friends, maybe one had a sniper, get another team, and
Yeah.
then you killed someone that had snipers and you looted them and banked them was fucking amazing and like one of the biggest like fun things in this game. But I don't think
So-
that you can have that back nowadays.
No,
Because the
No,
player has
because
changed
even
so
if,
much.
Even if the snipers would become rare, people have already had the feeling of using them and having them. So
Yeah.
you will never
And-
get that feeling back.
I mean,
Um,
also like if you
Wait,
compare it, like
can I
yeah, sure.
interrupt really quick on that answer? An indirect solution for that feeling that you're talking about, where
would be
you're
the
playing with
survival mode
a
as
group
well.
of 5 people with a sniper, indirect solution, and also indirect solution for that is the survival game mode, which is, like we already mentioned in the devlog, one of the big reasons we're also doing that, and we want to recreate that feeling there, and there it gives us the space, because then in the open world we don't have to decide to wipe or not. So this is also that's also another reason actually why we're gonna make survival. So you definitely have a very good point, and we know about it, and that's what
Yeah.
we are gonna try to do with it.
I mean, at the end, what the game really needs is at the end like things that make the game attractive again, or especially for new players. Because for new players, the game is it's super impossible hard to enjoy or play over a long time. Like for example, when you just started, maybe you have some fun on beginner servers, and then you go on the normal servers, and you get completely destroyed. I mean, even other people that have like 200 days playtime or 100 days didn't play for a long time. I don't want to like name some streamers now that did that like that, and then they play on normal servers and they get completely destroyed and they have no fun at all. And that is something
and that is something where the
that needs to be
survival
changed.
mode
Yeah,
exactly, that is something where the survival mode and competitive will contribute to helping it, of course. Because okay, let's say you've played on the beginner servers, you kind of know how the game goes already, you know. Then you can either go officials, you probably get, excuse my language, fucked, and then so by the time you don't have fun, as you said it, so by the time you can't play on beginner servers anymore, there's nothing. But that's why I mean, if now battle royale is actually one of the solutions to that already, that you know you can I always play battle royale, but that's not, you know, everyone's favorite game mode. But if we then, because right now what we have is our open world game mode, which is our main, of course, is kind of a mixture of competitive and survival. Not really survival though, but so adding these two separate game modes, competitive matchmaking and then a survival open world, and then we have this open world that we have now. We can call it the sandbox, if we compare them with the others, right? I mean, it becomes 4 games in one, to be honest, at the end of the day, and it suits 4 types of people. You know, there's a type of people that only care about banking shit on their GI and killing other people in officials. Well, then fine, you can play officials.
Are you guys think it's a good idea if we make like in 2 weeks or something, or maybe one or 2 weeks, another talk round, and then maybe invite you send some people and talk about like only about competitive, for example?
I'm just trying to make it. You guys are going from one thing to another.
Yeah, no, I just mean because so many people are asking that all the time, also on Twitter, and I think it's not smart today to go to it. Yeah, sure.
Fred was talking about you were talking about the problem where new people come into our game, and creating places where they could potentially actually fit in is a direct solution for that problem. But also one thing that's for us also a reason to make survival and to make competitive is those game modes are standalone game modes. They don't really have anything to do on the open world, and we don't really want to divide players, but we want to just give them a feeling of everything, you know. And
I mean, if they want to survive. If they want to PvP.
Basically, people come up with ideas like do a global wipe. To put everyone in the same boat in open world. But before we would ever do those kind of things, we will always wait how survival or competitive is gonna work out, and then maybe we see, the majority of the game is actually playing all of a sudden survival, you know, and now open world we do separate polls on there, and then from that moment see, okay, maybe we could actually do a wipe there again or something, because they are game modes independently. That gives us possibilities and things to do. And very important thing that we learned is not to directly cite something, but for example, if there's an issue, you could try to fix the issue instant, but you can also, if like for example, I'm talking about a map related issue, if there's a problem with a certain building, there's multiple ways you can fix it. In the end, you can always remove the building, but for example, what you could do is if there's a problem with the door or something, you place a fence there. It changes the whole gameplay, and it could be a solution. It's just a matter of how is the community going to react to it. So we don't want to take those decisions too fast. And for that reason, we have survival and competitive. We see how that goes, and then we go back to open world, see what we can do there, basically.
The thing is that there's always a very fine balance between what people, because I mean, obviously when it comes to different opinions, we have a wide selection, because we have these old players who wants things in a certain way, and we have the new players who needs things to. I mean, a very nice example of this is the DX wipe we did, which wasn't very popular probably with the old players who I gather a lot of DX. But the thing we could see was that this was really harming the new players who would come into this game with basically nothing, and then you had players with a shit ton of DX, some of them with Duke DX even, who could just buy sniper after sniper and just basically wreck all the new players coming in, making them to leave the game instantly. So that's typically a decision that we made. It's a very, very good example of a decision that we made, that when we tried to favor the new players but still keep the old players happy in a way, since they would get some game dollars for it. So we're always trying to make decisions that make as many people as happy as possible, maybe aiming a bit towards bringing new players to the game, because I think that favors everyone, bringing new blood into the game. It's good for the new players, it's good for the old players. They get some new competition, not always the same guys in the servers that they're facing. So I mean basically every decision we make, we think of the community first, and we try to keep as many of the players happy, basically. So we don't try to focus very much on a certain group, maybe a bit on new players, but the DX wipe was quite a
balanced,
concrete example on that.
Balanced decisions, basically, very important, and they are very hard in our case.
All these game decisions that have a lot of impact on the game, we really ask our well, our best source of feedback is, of course, streamers and moderators who are more focused and more inside the general community of the game, and we really taking care of their feedback and their opinions as well when doing these kind of decisions.
Can I ask something between? There will be no GI in the hardcore mode, right? In the survival mode, I mean.
No.
No.
The survival mode, and this is something we want to be really clear about. And Sven wrote a little dev blog where he explained exactly all this. The survival mode will be server independent, so each server will be saved independently. So if you would join a different server, you wouldn't have the same GI, but then if you would join back to the old one you have your things again, you know what I mean? So it's like every server is a complete new game. It's like, there will be lockers and ways of storing items inside the server, but you can only access them in that exact server. And anything that happens in that server stays in that server. There's nothing that ever can be transferred between servers.
So
no GI, and it will most likely be a monthly wiper. So yeah.
I think we can hear you twice then. I'm not sure why. Did you mute Skype?
You hear me twice? Wait, what?
Okay, I'm gonna go to the
it's
next
fixed,
question, boys.
Can I go back on the question about the Battle Royale? The guy who said, are there going to be any more rewards for Battle
Yeah,
Royale?
sure.
What I was thinking about directly when Fred was talking is maybe we should make a legacy box out of the box we have now and release a new box as reward, only for.
Yeah, I mean, for example, like, I think what people would really hype people up is some seasonal skins, maybe. Like, you don't have to copy World of Warcraft, but if you got like rank 1 in the arena and you got some dank mount, and the next season another dank mount, and then people saw, oh damn, that guy is fucking cool and shit. I think that is really something that would people enjoy a lot, and would people make like motivated, in my opinion.
So a direct fix for or a direct solution for that is to release to make a legacy box, and as well as on top of the leaderboard idea, which we rewards, like not just only skin box, but maybe even more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wrote it down for the Battle Royale, so I'll take a look at that and we'll see what we can do.
We don't need new skins, yeah, but boys, I mean, it's like, of course, it's just one thing we just talk about. We're talking about skins, everybody's going completely ham.
The skin thing is just an example. It doesn't have to be a skin. It could be anything. It could be like a badge. It could be name it.
And I mean, it's something cool you get when it's just people. As soon as they hear a skin from someone that is like Dev and UZ, they go completely ham.
Yeah,
and think it's something bad all of a sudden.
It's ironic sometimes where we know that people say, and I don't know how far they are actually joking or if they are actually serious, because at this moment it looks like the people who are actually saying that are just saying it because they're joking. Because
what do you mean?
let's say patches, we haven't really released new skins or skin boxes, and the main reason was because of those reactions. And
Yeah.
right now,
And
they're
because we
still
had to
doing
spend
it.
time on a lot of other things too. As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and
As we
wanna
mentioned
make-
earlier, the servers have had problems. Our database has needed
Yeah, I mean,
some
it's-
optimizations. We've done a lot of things on the background that you guys don't see.
It's
And
also
trust
the
me,
thing
it's a lot of work.
that people that fix crashes or work on new game modes are not the same people that work on skins, right?
Yeah,
So
That's
people
true
don't
as well.
That's true
so
as
people
well.
don't have to very obviously. So hey, they're making new skins. Aha, okay.
If
And nobody
we
else worked
release-
all the time, which
if
is
we
Exactly.
release a million skins, it doesn't mean that the rest, there's nothing else we worked on. Basically, it doesn't
No.
work like that. People think that it works like that.
We have people working on specific things that can't really do anything about crashes, but they're working on skins, for example, or maps, or
You can see
whatever.
it as a programming department and a graphic department, and then kind of gameplay department.
Yeah.
Those are what you can call
Separated things. For us, it's quite complicated because obviously there's certain things that the same person does because we are not that big, as everyone knows. But it still doesn't remove the fact of a guy that works on skins. He works on skins, and it doesn't matter if he can't fix crashes. When he makes a lot of skins, it doesn't mean that we haven't done shit, basically. And
Yeah.
I hope people will understand that at some point. But like back to the thing I was saying, it's quite ironic sometimes because we actually released patches where the only thing there's I think 2 patches ago we didn't wrote any skin updates. We wrote one thing where we updated one certain texture, and we had 100 other notes, and there was still people
Microphone
complaining
muted.
that we were.
Boys,
only
this is
working
by
on
the
skins.
way why
That's what I'm
I
saying, I
wanted
guess.
to like have
Starting to look like
questions
like
before,
people are just
because
saying it because
since
of
we're just saying
passion or
people
they're
just
joking or
flame what they anyway want to flame, don't even pay
obviously
attention,
that doesn't help.
God,
So if you're
Christ.
saying that and you
Microphone
still think
activated.
that we're only
and
working
still
on
want
skins,
to
then
make the game better. Yeah, sorry.
yeah. But yeah, let's continue.
Yeah. Next.
And that is actually a pretty asked question.
Thank you.
You guys know how when you headshot someone, if you have the option enabled, you can hear a sound. You guys know that, right? You hear a sound when the server registers the headshot. Hello?
Sorry, I have like some technical issues right there.
I think
I apologize.
If Fred's explaining something and you're fixing something, just tell him to wait for a second.
Yeah.
Because now it looks like you
Yeah.
don't really.
I'm sorry. 1 second, please, Fred. There is something that shouldn't happen, but it happened. Now I'm. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're good to go now, Fred. Go on.
So, about the red hit marker, okay?
Yeah.
So I just want to start this off like this. You guys know if you have the option enabled when you get a headshot and the server registers, you hear a sound, like a headshot sound, and that sound is actually that's when the server registers the sound and the server tells you okay, so you headshotted him, okay, but the red hit marker happens on your client. In other words, when your client then tells the server, okay, well, I just got a headshot, or it tells the server where you shot, of course, and all that stuff. And then the server is like, okay, well, yeah, looks fine. I'll take it and tell everybody else that you got a headshot, and then it eventually spreads out to all the players and rip internet. Huh?
I think your Skype just fucked up.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
Skype just crashed. But yeah, like, basically, I don't know. Call dropped. Looks like the entire Skype is broken. Whatever. But basically, this hit marker thing, that's why we added this sound, because since sometimes you can lag. So basically, by the time because you imagine you're lagging, right? So you got a legal lag spike, for instance, or the server got a lag spike, which are things that happen. Okay, we can't control the network between your home and our servers. And And yeah, and when say for example you send a shot, right? And by the time the server registers it, yeah, you're already like, let's say you moved too much, so it's impossible that you would have ever hit him.
Yeah.
In the yeah, it's impossible that you would, for example, ever have actually hit him on.
You're mute on Skype.
Yeah, sorry. That because you're not in the line of sight with him. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's most of the time because of a network's problem. It also happens in shields, and let me tell you why. Because shields, the whole, for example, at 1 second, it can be that you are basically in the same line. So basically your gun is on a perfect line when you shoot through the shield, right?
Yeah.
But then imagine like after you shoot, or when you shoot, it can lag a bit, and then you crouch or you move a bit. Well, then the line of sight would have hit the shield, you know, and the server knows that. The server says, well, yeah, how the fuck did you hit him if the bullet would have gone through the shield instead? You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
So the red hit marker, yes, we could make it so it's it tells you after when the server registers it as a red hit marker, but then you won't get this instant feedback. The red hit marker will have a way bigger delay. We don't want that, so that's why we added the sound. So guys, if you want to know if the headshot was actually a headshot, you gotta listen for the sound. That's the reason we added it in the first place.
Okay. I mean, it's like sometimes annoying, and even I had some good rage moments with that. But but I mean, overall, everybody when it happens, you know, okay, there was an issue, and at the end, the other guy was faster, or you just, I mean, you know, it's like a lag, and it's like that. But it's just
exactly. It's basically
in that moment still pisses
game,
you
the
off.
one who has the fastest internet. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, Steve.
Yeah, we could rework the riot so it would have no hole. That is actually a valid point.
But the red hit
very
marker
valid
is
point.
not always with route
No, the red hit marker could happen also, for example, when you are peeking a corner. Imagine you shoot him, and then you lag for like 1 second, then you go behind the wall again. You know, the server's like, yeah, how the fuck did you shoot him through the wall? You know, and it's not going to register the shot. And these things do happen, and if we lived all in a perfect world where the internet would always work and there was never any ping spikes, trust me, these issues would never happen. But you know, sadly, we can't control what happens between the Newsy servers and your house. We can control what happens on your game and what happens on the servers, but not in between.
Yeah, I mean, it often happens, or most likely with like the riot shields, though, if it happens.
Yeah. But that's because, as I said, the hole is such a small hole that even the slightest movement or the slightest lag already makes it, already causes it to, you know,
this to happen. We could always try to remove the hole.
That's actually a good point, because the hole is anyways, nobody peeks there in 2017 anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean,
on
one
purpose.
of the things you could do is completely block the hole off and make it so you can't shoot through the hole. So the hole is pure there as a image, but you will never be able to shoot through it, you know?
Yeah.
Not even on your client, so it won't even register shots. You won't even get a red hit marker through the hole. But to be honest, that's, as I said, if you guys like that, we could definitely do that. But if you guys think that the hole should be there, it's more like it's kind of a thing, well, you like it or not, and it's not really a choice that has a yes or a no for a fact answer. You know, it's more of a opinion, like a color.
Can I just
no color is
give
wrong
you a
or right.
comment, Urko? Any mods that are abusing their mod in Urko's stream, that are posting questions like multiple times after each other in spam, we're not gonna answer those questions. Everyone has a fair chance, and your mod and spamming that.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's some mods abusing there.
Yeah, I didn't. Anyway, yeah, we want to go through some. I think that's good explained, and I think that's like, for me at least, I think the hole is completely useless. So that I think nobody would be mad if that would be redesigned. I mean, nobody is anywhere like looking through it, you know, because we anyway get killed instantly if you like look in that hole and aim. That sounds so weird. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's
think-
not talk about holes.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions to the competitive mode, but I think, as I said earlier, we should not go through that much, because you said earlier it will come, but you guys don't have the best ideas or the best concept ready for how it should look like and how it should be, right? And I guess to all the competitive stuff, maybe we make an extra evening where we maybe make some suggestions and questions.
What we also, if we would do that, we also would like to have already things to show to you guys, or at least a concept, or or we have a stream like that. But yeah,
Next question. Can we expect solo duo servers soon?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we can.
There's a little bit of a question here, because we can do as much as we can to prevent people from grouping up. We can remove group tags, we can remove clan tags, but it doesn't. There's nothing we can do to stop two people from grouping up, and playing together.
Well, we can in
It's not-
solo servers. If we make it random.
Yeah, but what if you would just join a server until you find your teammates? People are gonna do that anyway. We could make it even harder and harder and harder, yes, but there is no way we can guarantee that there will never be two players playing together.
No, but we can make it almost 99% that that
Yeah,
we're not
well,
gonna get.
Let's see how that works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy asked when we can expect it, and the idea is already there. I don't know if you want me to explain to you the whole idea about solo servers.
Super simple. No group tags, no clan tags. You don't get to choose a server. Full stop. End of story. And then you join one of the 10 or 30 or how many servers now we decide to add random
Yeah,
ones.
in a way, it will work like Battle Royale. You just click on the join server. You cannot decide yourself what server you join.
And instead of Battle Royale, like it all puts you in the same one. If you join at the same time, it will completely choose a random one. So you could get a public server or you could get the empty server. It's completely random. You could get lucky and how do you say? You could get lucky and eventually, find your friend and play with him, but then people could report that to us. We could ban you guys for 24 hours or indefinitely. So
Then
I wouldn't.
I see another guy asking about the daytime. That's already actually coming for next patch. We increased by a lot. I don't know. I don't have exact numbers, but we increased daytime by a lot for next patch already. That's already coming.
Great.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that myself. So.
Next topic. Like getting like a bit better FPS though, especially now after the patch was a bit worse FPS on Spring Valley and West Oaks.
Yeah, those maps, those are gonna get the FPS boost, of course. I'm sure Sven has already, since he's the one who handles the most of the mapping, and well, not handles it, but he is responsible for it, as well as Silent. I'm sure they have a demo on there to do this for the next patch. Boost, try to fix the FPS small things, but also there's small things that are happening on the client, small optimizations which should also boost the FPS in general on every map happening this patch. So let's hope that it works for everybody like it works for me. Yes. Then you're getting burned.
I'm not that guy before, otherwise I'm not gonna answer.
Zoomer, can you please calm down a bit? Man,
His mom to tell him to calm down because he listens a lot to her, I think.
So
I know she takes his mic sometimes.
this is one of the last questions we has. Actually, a stash button on GI lockers or a changing skin thing in the GI. Will that come soon? Is it possible to actually do that? Yeah.
I think Fred can answer that.
repeat the question?
There's coming
Sorry,
a
a
GI
a stash button for the GI lockers and also a changing skins menu in the GI.
Both are definitely possible, yes. We have one concern. I mean, the setting skins in the GI is something that is definitely, you know, it's a good idea and it can be done, and I don't think there will be any problems with that. Except the only problem is the stashing in the GI and in the GI lockers, as in game. That could potentially cause problems if I explain myself correctly. But yeah, it's definitely something that can be added and will be looked at. But I can't promise anything right now.
Okay, thank you.
Basically, the stash button as well is it's another huge load on our database, and adding a button like that could also potentially lead to even more problems. I don't think people.
It's not a bad idea.
But yeah, it's definitely something we will be looking at.
Okay. So we almost have an hour answered like some questions. By the way, boys, I'm gonna talk to chat in a second. Then I'm gonna explain also for me some things. I think like having a more open feedback for the community will be a good thing and helps everyone, you guys, so you get less hate and stupid questions, and the community gets a bit more informed what's actually going on, and that you're not wanking the whole day and what's coming soon and what so on.
Well, right now, one of the biggest things that's going on is a lot of the, and every time I say this, servers seem to go down. Okay, so, but one of the things we're working a lot on is server stability. From what I've seen, things look better now. Okay. We will, of course, continue to always look at it. We will continue to improve as we can and expand our infrastructure and everything as we see needs fit. But yeah, that's one of the big things, as well as the development in terms of game development. I have just finished the crafting system. I know I posted a dev blog, but this time I've added a couple extra features to it, such as there's a craft queue. So you see your craft queue in the bottom there, and then you can cancel, for example, if you misclicked craft something, you know, so you can cancel the craft and you get your items back, stuff like that. So there's well, yeah. So that plus some server issues that I've been working lately on.
And for all the SA players, me and Chupa are quite close to SA servers for you to try it out. So
definitely.
You can expect that in quite a close future, I believe.
Yeah, very soon.
And after that, I will of course look in how we can solve to maybe have service in Australia and such, but that will take a bit longer.
Where did you?
Circle.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I think at the end it was informative for everyone somewhere, or at least for the most people that don't talk to you guys that much. I guess in 1 or 2 weeks we're gonna sit here again, maybe.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Definitely.
Yeah, we should do this. In my opinion, we should do this. And not only this, we should keep the community posted with more of the development stuff. You know, I should make one of those dev blog videos kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sven can do them as well. And we should make those little meetings / question and answers, you know, where you guys get to hear a little bit of what's getting worked on. And we should really do this every week or two, to be honest, because it's every Sunday, you know, or every 2 Sundays. We should definitely do this because it's something that I think personally really, really gets a good link between the community and the devs, and they get to see what we're working on, and we get to see what their opinions are, which is great. And you know, and of course we get to see what their questions are.
Yeah. I did silence. Yeah. So I mean this was the first time we do something like that. So I'm also gonna, like, when we're done here, explain some stuff, because I see a lot of confusing questions also, because some people did not really pay attention before how we managed this today, or the plan was, and how we do it in the future.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm gonna spend time on that after this. But so far, thank you guys a lot.
Can I do a final
Sure.
thing? If you just tuned in, or you tuned in after we did, or things were not clear, if you have questions that aren't answered, just tweet us or tweet Urkel with #AskNewZ. You have to link anyone, and your question might come by the next time. But just use #AskNewZ.
Yeah.
That's and I will do this more often. I definitely agree.
Yeah, I think this is a good thing to get some stuff done between the team actually and the community. Yeah, Fred, you want to say something smart at the end?
No, it's just kidding.
Thanks for being all here, and
yeah, thanks for being. I mean, it's nice that at least 500 people are watching this and have seen this. But yeah, guys, to get this over with, we will keep you guys as updated as possible. I know we haven't, since the scene release, we haven't really kept you guys updated on a lot of stuff, and there's been a lot going on in the background, as we spoke about before. But right now, I would say things are starting to go forwards again, if that's one way to say it. And we definitely think that keeping you guys updated with the development, with the updates is crucial, right? So yeah, remember, guys, we're a small team. We're not a big team, but I think we can accomplish big things.
We're almost finished putting out fires that happened that were caused when we launched on Steam. So, time to go back developing again, hardcore.
Yep.
We're really looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Thank you guys.
And Newz.
No, I'm gonna say something at the end. I'm gonna mute from TeamSpeak, and you guys can leave Skype. Thanks so much for the talk, and I'm gonna talk to you guys later, I guess, when you're in TeamSpeak.
Take care, boys.
Yeah, thanks.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.